So as you can see here, what I've done is I pretty much have everything penciled in. I have my fireworks penciled in, I have my person, my foreground, middle ground, background, I got everything ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting. Normally what I would tell you to do is start light to dark, okay? And we will start light to dark when we start doing the details. But you're going to want to paint the background all, instead of having to go in between, in and out every single one of these little dots I made, I'm just going to paint right over them. I'm going to paint right over all this stuff, and there'll be a little bit of pencil that I can still see underneath that I can come in and start to do more detail. Now, one of the other things you might want to think about doing while you're doing this part of the project is to tape down some of the edges. You don't need to do it a lot, you just need a tiny little bit of tape. And the reason why you're taping down the edges is to stop things from, like, your paper's going to want to start to curl up on you. And it's going to be easier for you to not have it curl up. Now you got to just get the very, 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 very tiny edges here, because otherwise, see, I already put a little bit too much on it. Like, if you don't do just the tiny little edges, because where you're putting the paint down, you're not going to see the paint. So I'm just getting the little tiny edges here to keep the brush, or to keep everything down while I'm painting it. So when you're painting a sky, keep this in mind. If you're painting the sky blue, it's going to be dark blue up here, and then it's going to slowly come to, it's going to start dark blue, and then it's going to get lighter blue. If you're painting a night sky or a sunset, it starts black to blue to purple to orange to yellow. If you're painting a night sky, which I'm about to, it's going to go black to navy blue to light. Okay, start dark and it's going to get lighter as it goes down. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with the middle blue right here, and I'm going to just come in here and I'm going to just start painting it in. Notice I'm painting back and forth this way. Now also notice I am going to get paint on my table, which I'm going to have to paint up later, or I'm going to have to clean up later. Now the reason I'm going back and forth like this is because I eventually want this to look nice and neat, and I'm going to fade it this way, so I'm fading it back and forth. So as you can see right now, I called an audible about halfway through, meaning I changed my direction. I originally was going to have this lighter, and as I was painting it, I started seeing that it wasn't really looking like nighttime, which I want it to look like. So I changed from blue. Now the problem with that is I'm going to have a hard time seeing my drawings. I can still see some of them underneath it there, and it'll help me out when I start making it. Worst case scenario though is I just make it up. Like as long as I know where the circles were about, I'm gonna be okay with that. So what I'm gonna do right now before I start cleaning up is I'm gonna actually paint him. I'm gonna make him black. So I'm gonna do that, but I need to let this dry because I can't paint over wet paint. So I'm gonna go and get a little bit of black paint here. Notice as I'm doing this, I'm not getting super small, or I'm not going to get a super small brush, because I do want this to go relatively quick. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I've got my guy just in a silhouette pointing up to the sky. I'm going to stop here, let things dry, and clean up.